Hello, so again, not a Mad Eyes video, but still an educational video, except this time it's on Blackjack. I've had a ton of friends complaining about Blackjack and how it's all luck-based and they always lose and they never win and all that stuff. And I consider myself a lucky person, but at the same time, I don't trust the luck in this game. And I win more or less consistently with my OP mechanic strat, which I'm going to demonstrate in this one game that I recorded. I just saw the comment in the top right corner in the global chat. Someone said Burke is an OP low. Anyways, so the mechanic strat is something I've been doing pretty much every blackjack game I've played. I've won it against, I think, Walmart, Loverboy. He loves my mechanic strat. I played customs with him in blackjack several times, and there really is no way to counter the mechanic strat unless you're actively trying to hunt for the mechanic. So you'll notice, so I'll start explaining the strat now that the game's going. You want to keep your cards total, your point total as low as possible, which is why we start with one card and don't draw another. It works for, this strat works best in maps like Sacred Heart Hospital or Leo's Memory, where there's a really good kiting area, such as the hospital itself or the second floor of the factory in Leo's Memory. But you can still pull off the strat in smaller maps like Red Church or Arms Factory, as long as you stay away from, as long as you put your main body away from the ciphers. So for example, in Arms Factory, I like to stay near the factory, but not close enough to the factory that I'm too close to any of the ciphers. Like between the bottom left cipher and the bottom right cipher, that kind of area. But anyways, you'll notice that I'm decoding with my bot and hiding my main body in the top floor of the hospital, where it's hard for the hunter to reach, because of the way the personas work. They give the insolence, I don't, possessive. That's what it's called. So you get early alerts if the hunter is nearby, and at the same time, the hunter can't just teleport instantly on you, since the only ciphers in the hospital would be the one inside the little house area, I guess. Whatever. Or the one in the top floor, and besides, even if he teleports there, it's still a good area to kite in. What else do I need to iterate? Yeah, it's just about hiding your main body and decoding with the bot, so you can still get those chips, and chips is what you're aiming for with this game. We're not gonna go for the fancy kites. We're not gonna go for the fancy kites. We're just gonna go for the farming chips by decoding. Yeah, you don't really need to be a good kiter. You don't need to be a good hunter either to try and win with this strat. It's all about just farming chips and playing the game, because at its core, it's still just a game of blackjack. You don't need to trust luck. You don't need to trust your hunter skills. You don't need to trust your survivor skills. Just trust the mechanics of the game. Get it? Mechanic. Anyways, we're still just, yeah, the early rounds you get like low point cards. It doesn't matter as long as, because there's always going to be someone who has higher points than you, due to the fact that each time the hunter downs someone, that survivor has to draw cards. So there's always going to be someone with more points, as long as you're not the one getting hunted, and you won't be the one getting hunted, because you're hiding away from the ciphers and you're hiding in a good kiting area. Anyways, and even though you're hiding, you can still get chips by decoding with your bot. And if the hunter teleports after your bot, they don't get anything, you don't lose anything, because you're using your bot as a placeholder. Anyways, I'm just going to let the bot decode a bit while I get to the second floor, so I can keep myself safe. And look for other ciphers that I can work on once my bot gets downed, or, yeah, if my bot gets downed, because chips are still what you're trying to go for. As we saw the axe boy teleporting away in the top corner right there. It's a bit dangerous here because we're getting the notification that the hunter's nearby, so we're just going to shift a little bit further away, and we're safe now, so we can go back to decoding. Now you might be wondering, what's up with this chip farm? What are we trying to achieve with more and more chips. Well, particularly we're aiming for the most expensive cards in the game. The 300 one, which is the pass card, the 400-point one, which is the discard card, and the 500-point one, which is just basically the pass card but larger range. You don't need to worry about the 500-point card because the 300-point exchange card should suffice our needs just fine. The 400-point card is also a good option to pick. It's the one that gives you a guaranteed discard on a card of your choosing. Don't pick the 200 one. The 200 one discards a random card, and it's completely useless because what we're trying to go for with this strat is the consistency. And discarding random cards will not help us. Neither will exchanging cards or swapping hands. And we're still just going with the same strat, but in this case, Grizzly gets a 21. Obviously, we want to do something to stop that because we don't want to lose. But we don't want to even though this happened, we still don't want to panic and buy the cheap cards, which is why I'm heading over to this cipher right here, decoding a little bit just so I can get enough chips to buy the pass card. I'm still going to leave my doll here so that I can still continue to farm chips as I chase after Grizzly so that I can pass him like a 3 or something. So I can screw up his win and try to overload him. Except the Hunter and like pretty much every other player is probably going after him too, so we don't really have to worry about it. Anyways, he gets down there. It's most likely he's going to have to draw a card from the Hunter, yep. And I don't think he was 21 when he got down by the Hunter. I think someone else may have used a pass card. Probably the Priestess, because now she's eliminated. And Grizzly's still in, so he must be like just under 21 or something. Anyways, even though I talk about consistency and all that, how we're purposely just avoiding everyone so that nothing interferes with our plans, it's still a luck-based game, depending on the cards you get. Although the early couple rounds, you still get a low value cards, so you can maintain that safeness, I guess. I don't know how to describe it. There's always the possibility that you get the higher value cards earlier on. I don't know, but no, I can't talk. Usually you still get the cheap cards in the beginning. Anyways, you can see here that Grizzly teleports after my doll, and he downs it before I can do anything with it, which doesn't really matter because he doesn't get anything, and most importantly, I don't lose anything. Anyways, I decided to juke back here a bit because anticipating that Grizzly will teleport to another cipher, so I can go back to decoding that one. Even with my main body, I feel pretty I feel pretty safe. See, he got downed. Oh yeah, since the doll isn't affected by the debuff, it's still perfectly fine to decode. It's still like advantageous, I guess. I don't know. It's still helpful decoding with the bot, and with your extra decoding speed, you can get those chips faster. And since usually survivors are down in one shot, you don't really have to worry about Cowardly, the mechanics debuff, because partially you'll still be decoding with the bot all the time, and also that people can self-heal up back to full health. Anyway, so now this is where it gets tough. Everyone's getting higher and higher value cards. We just got a 7. But we're not particularly concerned because we got our pass card. We can just give that 7 to someone else and keep our point total as low as possible. And the reason why we'd be giving the higher cards to other people is because we want to try and overload them, force them past 21. If they go past 21, they get eliminated, and yeah, that's one less competitor to worry about. All in all, it's more like, rather than playing an active hunting role or kiting role, you're just playing survival of the fittest, I guess. Let everyone else get, let everyone else die from going over 21, while you keep your low point average and stuff. Anyway, so this is the deciding round. We're possibly not going to get Hunter. If we do get Hunter, we can maybe get a win by downing them and forcing them to take our cards. But as Survivor, what you noticed differently I did here was I went immediately to a Cypher without placing a bot. I wanted the Hunter to teleport onto me and start up a chase, because this way I can get my exchange card off. And you saw here, I got the exchange card off right before I died, and I gave him a 7. So no matter what I drew right there, I would still be under 21, even though I drew the same card that I gave him. You can see here that that guy, I think is Chief, he got a 22. Everyone else died from having over 21 points. Well, we're the last one standing, and that's how you win. Again, like I said, this is still a luck-based game, you know. You could possibly get higher cards. You could be tunneled by the Hunter. You might not be able to find anyone in the last few moments of the game to give off the exchange card. But with this strat, I have been winning consistently. I get the occasional game where I get eliminated early thanks to not finding someone to exchange off my higher point cards. But yeah, give it a try and see how it works for you. Again, you don't need to be a good kiter. You don't need to be a good hunter. You just need to be able to play safe and understand how the game works, I guess. That makes it sound like you guys don't know how to play the game, but I don't know. Whatever, I don't care. Well, thanks for watching, I guess.